I speak to a lot of interior designers, and I always talk about this subject, and then they say to me, yeah, but my client doesn't ask for it. And I'm like,
yeah,
I know your client doesn't ask for it, but you have to tell him. It's your responsibility to tell him, because he doesn't know, he can't know everything.
Biophilic design. Is it just the next new interior design trend, or, well, biophilic design has been a growing trend in interior design over the past few years, and it shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, as people become more aware of the importance of sustainability, about health and wellness, the demand for biophilic design is likely to continue to grow. And in the eyes of our guest of today, biophilic design is not just a passing trend, but a fundamental shift in the way we think about design of our indoor spaces. It's part of a broader movement towards sustainable and healthy design, which emphasizes the importance of creating spaces that are not only beautiful, but also good for our health and the health of our planet. So therefore, this topic is absolutely beyond interior design. Today, we're going to discover what is biophilic design exactly, why should you use it, what are the positive effects, how can you invite it easily into your life and into your designs, and how will the interior design and architecture future look like. So please welcome interior designer and biophilic design expert Lianne Bongers from Studio Lianne. She's based in the Netherlands. You can book her for keynote speeches, talks, workshops, but today she's here in the Beyond Interior Design podcast. So let's support her on her mission. Lianne, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. What an introduction.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate you're here. So, well, maybe today we have to say Lianne, is it? Yeah. Not Lianne on Dutch. Well, welcome. Great to have you. Yeah, biophilic design. I really like actually the what it literally means. I read it that it means love of life and love of nature.
Yeah, natural systems. That's really the literary meaning of it. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
I love it too. I love it too, because it says so much about where it comes from, what the basis is, and yeah, that's really what it is. Love for nature.
Yeah. So what is biophilic design? Is it a style?
No, it's definitely not a style, and that's the fun thing about it. Because it's not a style, you can everyone can use it, because you can use it from in classic interiors, you can use it in very modern interiors, and everything in between, because it's more like a design method and not so much a style.
Yeah, yeah, because I was really curious actually. We were creating a post and we saw a lot of plants and the trees and nature involved in interior design. But it was like, is this biophilic design or what is it? Because that's what it looks like. If you see a lot of nature inside, then it's biophilic design. But there's more to that, right?
Yeah, definitely. And also it's because that's the most visible part. That's why you always compare it with plants, but plants is just a very small part of it.
Yeah,
but it is the most visible part. So I understand the meaning. You know, it's like but you can have like an interior with no plants at all, and it still can be biophilic, because it's so much more than that.
Okay, cool. Let's go on that one later on. Because first I want to know where did it come from, biophilic design? When did it start? Where did it start? Can you?
Yeah, actually, it's you hear it a lot now, but it actually started in the 70s. The first psychologist that came up with the term was Erich Fromm. He was a German psychologist. And he invented the word, actually, biophilic. And later on, it got more recognition, and more people picked it up and brought it further. Like Stephen Kellett, for example, is a very well-known biologist, and he was at Yale, and he wrote books about it, and he brought it to much more people's attention. So.
And why do you think it started in the 70s? What was it?
I have no idea actually why it started back then already, but maybe people were more aware of, well, I'm thinking out loud, but I know that in the 70s also there was this Club of Rome who were into awareness of how we treat the planet, and they were already sounding the alarm bells, about we cannot go on acting like we do with the planet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's got, I don't know, it's just thinking out loud, I'm not sure, but it sounds, I mean, it's all about being aware of nature and being aware of how we treat our planet.
Yeah, and people, love for people, peace. I think it all has to do with this, love, taking care of each other and the planet. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But is it actually our human desire is to be connected with nature? Is it? Although we forgot it maybe right now in this concrete world.
Yeah, definitely. It's a we all have it, this innate desire for nature, and because it's very logical, because that's where we came from, only a couple of thousand years ago we only lived in nature. We were 99% of the time we were outside, and and because of all the technology and all the things that happened after that, we kind of lost touch with actually what we came from, where we came from.
Yeah.
And but we need it really in our lives. Yeah,
I think how long do we exist as human beings? You said 46 billion years.
46 billion years. Yeah.
And Kelly, our previous podcast guest, he said all the things we know right now in our environment just exist 100 years. They're just 100 years old. Everything we have around us.
Exactly. And
nature is, nature's the only thing that's older.
Yeah, absolutely. And we only live in houses for only this short period, Before that, we stroll around and maybe lived in a cave, but that was like it. You were so in touch with nature and also with the natural system, Just get up when the sun comes up and go to sleep when it goes down, and much more in touch with all these natural systems as well.
Yeah, hard to imagine that this is your daily schedule, just waiting for the sun to come up and get out of your bed.
Yeah. But that's what we do when we're on holidays, right? You live more close to nature, and that's what we all want to do when we're having free time. So why not bring it in our houses and in our workplace? Yeah,
that's definitely the integration of biophilic design, bringing the nature inside, because we are I saw on your website you call it the indoor generation. That's who we are. How much time do we spend every day inside our buildings?
Yeah, they see in cities it's about 90%. Yeah.
90. Yeah.
That's crazy. And in our houses and in supermarkets and in offices and stuff like that. But yeah, indoors we spend a lot of time.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. So why should we use it? Because you say we need to have more biophilic design inside. We need to reconnect with nature. We need to have more of that, of Mother Earth inside. But why? What are the effects of that if we do that?
Well, it touches a lot of points, It's biophilic design is about indoor quality, for instance. It's a very big part of biophilic design, how the indoor quality is. Nowadays, you can the indoor quality of some spaces are even worse than outside, in cities. So that's an important thing.
Inside worse than outside.
Yes, that's incredible, right?
And what's the cause of that?
The cause can be polluted with VOCs,
all those plastics and all the materials we are using, all the chemicals.
Exactly. Yeah, and also our furniture leaves not so good. How do you say?
Yeah. No healthy fabrics. No.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why. And another thing is we because we feel so much better in a natural environment. It is so good for our well-being, physical and mental. And that's why you are more connected to nature. And that's I don't know what I want to say. Sorry, I lost the thread of my line. What was the original question, Mark?
Well, what's the cause of all this this terrible life circumstances inside our buildings? Because we can say we go outside, but we are 90% of the time we are indoors. So how can we what can we do about that? Let's go to the solution of that. Mm-hmm. Because I can imagine. Well, what can we do to raise the level?
You can think about acoustics, for example. It's a very important part, because in nature, acoustics is always wonderful. You know, you have no sounds that really annoy you. So you want to have good acoustics in your building environment as well. So that's a big part.
Cool that you're mentioning acoustics, because it has nothing to do with smell or poisonous gases or using the wrong materials. It's really about sensing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's a big part as well. You know, also in the use of materials, you want to have like this tactile materials that feel nice and that give you a warm feeling, and also with colors and patterns, and those things really do something with our minds, and that's really helpful in feeling good in a space.
But if we're talking about colors, because that's actually always if you're talking with clients, they say I love natural colors. But what are natural colors? Because if you have flowers, you have all the colors in the world, and normally we think about these beiges and sand and gray.
No,
so how?
Yeah, you know, in the natural world, colors are everywhere, and every color is represented in nature. So it's not really natural. I understand what you mean, but what you mostly use is a little grayish tones. So not the real harsh colors. Yeah. Or like earthly tones. That's a bit what I mostly use. But that can be any color, you know.
But has that to do with sensing the environment then? That it is more calm and relaxing? You know,
I don't have to tell you, because colors do a lot with us, you know. We are affected by the color we're in. So, I mean, red color is making you active. And yellow is making you feel vibrant. And, you know, the psychology of color is very interesting, and you can play with that as well.
Yeah, and what about patterns? Are you using patterns that are coming out of nature, or have it just a relationship with nature, or how do you?
Yeah, actually both. It can be really literally the patterns you see in nature, like the pattern of a leaf, or the pattern of a tree, something like that. But it can all be just by repeating patterns. That is what's happening in nature as well. You always see repeating patterns. Yeah, that gives us a really sense of relaxation, and so that's how you use the patterns, and this can be in little small patterns, but it also you can blow it up and make it more in your face, or more abstract if you want to.
It depends on the effect you want to achieve with the room or the activities that are there. Yeah. So let's talk. Well, you're doing a lot of hospitality in workplaces. Mm-hmm. So what's the first thing you change in a room if you would like to transform it to biophilic design?
Well, when the interior is already there, or from the start.
Well, from the start, or you can maybe you have to have a makeover, or what's the first thing you, well, for sure you are going to use in the next new design?
Yeah, I am going to say plants, because plants is really adding so much to a project, because of its color green, because of its health benefits, with the O2 that it releases, but also because of acoustics. Plants really take care of acoustics in a place. And also, what I like is, you know, when you put a plant inside a room, it's really alive. So with bringing plants inside, you bring alive the space.
You literally put energy in the room.
Yes, life, energy, and also, you know, a plant is not. It needs attention. It needs taking care of. It needs, you know, sometimes it grows for a while and then it stops growing, and then some leaves falling off, and that's life too, you know. That's also, yeah, how it works in the natural system. Yeah,
I saw some really cool portfolio pictures of your work. You're literally almost, well, working in a kind of jungle. I was like, oh, where is it? I like that. If you see the first picture, the first impression is, yes, plants, big jungle. But I saw other hospitality and restaurants that have a more, it's not literally biophilic design, but you have to know more in depth, that you can see the color use and the patterns and the color schemes. That you can feel that it is harmonious and connecting with nature.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see this kind of levels. But I was really curious, how do you start? Yeah, how do you start communicating about biophilic design with your client? Yeah, obviously they know that you are a biophilic design expert.
Yeah, that's.
But then how do you start the conversation?
Yeah, well, I always bring it up, of course, if they don't come for this reason to me in the first place. But what I'm trying to tell people, because it's mostly it's about money. Yeah, you have to, when you make a design, it's all about being into budget. And people start asking what it costs, and I'm always saying, you know, just not only think about what it costs, but think about what it brings you, what you get for it. You know, there are so many research is done, and over again the research shows that biophilic design spaces take care of a lot of problems where companies are struggling with at this moment. Like
tell me.
Keeping staff, like attracting good staff, like sick leave, for instance. Science has proven that when you have a space biophilic designed, that the sick leave drops with 8%, and that's a lot.
8%.
8%, yeah. I mean, when you're like this big company and you can save 8% on your sick leave, that's a lot of money. So yeah, I'm always trying to you know, see it from the financial point of view, because it does such great things that it really it brings you money. It doesn't cost you more, but it brings you money.
Yeah, on the long term, for sure. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. And one of the things I always do is when I am already in the sketch phase for a client, I bring in a green plan. And in the early days, I always brought plants in my projects, but since I've been really into this biophilic design, I moved the green plan from the DO to the SO, so the first sketching phase.
Yeah.
Because then you determine, and also you take your client with you into the importance of adding plants. And the thing I don't like is when a project is ready and then you start, okay, we have to have plants as well. And then you get like these pots in the corner, you know, a pot over there and a pot over there. And then I think, yeah, that's such a missed opportunity, because when you do it in the sketching phase already, then you can design furniture around it, you know. Then you can design a couch where there's a planter in the couch, you know. And then it gets so much more part of the design, and that's what I like.
Yeah. So if you're starting on that side with the mother nature, with these earthy nature elements, you are already starting in the right way, and the rest comes around it. Definitely. Artificial world almost. Yeah. 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 Great. Yeah. It has a really healing power. All this nature inside. So I heard in hospitals, people recover much earlier when they have a good view on nature, on forest, and even the color was enough. I saw some experience. Is it true that we have the most, that we can see the most greens with our eyes?
Yeah, I've read that somewhere as well. Yeah.
So that's the fact why we love nature so much, because that's our biggest color scheme that we can experience.
Yeah, and also there's a lot of diversity in the color green. You know, it's not just one color green. It's very light to very dark and everything in between. And also, you know, the leaves are different.
All the shades. Yeah. Hey, you told me you're working with 3 categories to implement biophilic design in your interior designs. Let's go on that one.
Yeah.
What are those?
Well, the first one is nature in the space, and that's really literally what you do is bring nature inside. So bring plants inside, bring trees inside, bring flowers inside. Water, exactly. Water as well. Fire, if possible. That's not always possible.
Yeah, that's mesmerizing too. That's really my mesmerizing thing. If I have a natural fire, I can watch it for hours.
It's wonderful, and it's really relaxing, and that's where we come from. You know, we used to sit around the fire together and telling each other stories, and watching the flames.
Yeah, so direct contact in nature, water, trees, plants, daylight.
Daylight as well, yeah, exactly. And the second one is natural analogs, and by that I mean forms, patterns, colors, all this stuff. The biomorphic forms. You know, also materials, so the material connection. That's what the natural analogs is about.
And what about this you talk about this noise or smells? Is it in this category as well?
No, that's in the last one.
That's in the last one. All right. Yeah, because you told me that it was like the viewpoint that you have. You said 6 meters. It's a kind of what is it? What is magical about 6 meters? I never heard that one.
It's also has got to do with us living in the wildlands, and we always want to have like this safe place behind us. So people were sitting with their backs to the cave, and then they could see what's around them, so they could sense if there was danger coming to them. And you could see more than 6 meters ahead. You know, I think that's where it comes from. So
if you use 6 meters view in your interior design, you have this kind of safe, natural feeling, this experiencing this freedom or this.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what the third category is about. It's about nature of the space. So how does the space make you feel? Do you get energized, or do you feel protected, or does it make you relax? So that's all about how a space makes you feel.
All the emotions,
with the smells and with the sounds, and associations maybe.
Because I think we have our religion is form follows meaning. So I can imagine when you have a client that really loves fire or really loves forest, that you are definitely focusing all these three categories on that theme to get really connected with her, not with just biophilic design, but really connecting with your client. Do you? Is that how you can work with this method? This design method?
Yeah, definitely. That's always what you try to do, you know, find out what the person's you know, favorite things are in life. And actually I'm not so much of a home interior designer. I used to be, but not anymore. But yeah, of course you when you design for hospitality as well, you know, you tune into what the target group wants, you know. And how do you want to make them feel? And in hospitality, it's always about trying to keep them longer in the place than they were they planned, you know.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look like that sometimes. It's just say, oh, you can go home, bye. but yeah, well, it is. Yeah, it's a business. Hospitals. Yeah.
Hospitality. I mean,
yeah, hospitality is another one, but hospitals too. Yeah. No, but hospitality as well. Yeah,
that's the other way around.
They want you to spend the money and stay longer.
Unless
you're a fast food company. Yeah.
True. Yeah. And also in a fast food company, they use this kind of colors that affect you.
Yeah, makes you run away actually after you're finished.
Yeah, definitely. They don't want you to stay. Yeah.
We don't mention names here in the podcast, but the golden arches, I know enough. They have a whole philosophy about this interior designs. Exactly. Yeah, the golden arch. Yeah. Well, yeah. Cool. Three ways to integrate more biophilic design, more connection with nature in interior design. Allow me to do a quickly zoom out, Lianne, because besides your expertise about biophilic design, there's more we can learn from you as interior designers. May I?
Sure.
Yeah. Because we did research in a global community of right now it's 178,000 at the moment, but we did the research among those 160,000 interior design experts, and we developed a method for that, the interior impact formula. And these are consisting of 5 phases to build a flourishing interior design studio. And I'm not diving into that right now, but yeah, well, if you want to know more, it's on our website. But I want to highlight 2 of those 5 phases, because people will recognize what you are doing, what you are communicating, you as a interior design professional. So phase 2 is about the purpose, the higher meaning of designs. And you have that very, very clear with your interior design company. Does she? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, you have a really, you know the impact you want to make. You are communicating the impact and the higher meaning of your interior designs. That's really clear for people that want to work with you, what the ultimate goal is of your interior designs. And sometimes it's about making a beautiful picture or just find out what you want or something, but there is no higher level, and you are communicating that really well. So that's the phase 2 about this purpose. And then you have another phase 3, and that's about principles, your design principles, your design religion, as you can call it, to explain your design decisions. Also a big yes, because I think it's very clear when you explain people why you're doing what you're doing, why you design this, why you're making these choices. You have an answer for that, is it?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Everything I do is very conscious, and all the decisions I make have to be in line with you know, what my goal is, what my vision is. Yeah,
and I think because you communicate that really well, it's you can have a really short, sweet, and smooth process with your clients, because everybody knows in which direction you're going. So that's just to zoom out what you are doing, because it's we can learn a lot from that. And people don't have to be a biophilic design fan. They can be a fan of color, or a fan about home solutions, or whatever. They can put every other higher impact on number one. But if you communicate your whole story and your design principles around that, you can be your authentic self, and you're just attracting the right people that want what you want.
Yeah, and what you say is very true. It has to be authentic with yourself. I mean, you cannot, when you're not a nature lover, please don't become a biophilic designer. That's not a match. No, you can't pretend to love nature. It's
no
inside of you, or it isn't. And most people, thank God, are fond of nature, but it has to be close to yourself, you know. And for me, it always has been, nature always has been an inspiration in my designs. I've been doing it for 18 years now, even longer. But when I started to come across biophilic design, I was it really was for me like all the pieces of the puzzle fell together, you know. It was like, oh my God, there's a whole science behind it, and you know, it's got much more to it than plants, and it's got to do with materials, and it's got to do with sustainability, because that we didn't even touch that, but sustainability is a very big part of it, because you cannot on one hand say you want to have the benefits of nature, and then on the other hand destroy nature at the same time, you know. You're also in that way very conscious of the decisions you make. But you know, where I was before, I was always busy with this beautiful and, you know, view of what it would be. And since I came across biophilic design and I learned everything there is to learn about it, I was much more aware of the effects I have on the well-being of the end user, and that what makes it very interesting and very much more layered also, your designs. And that's why I am so enthusiastic about it. And
and it's much more satisfying when you know you can achieve those effects, those successes with this philosophy. You're not just making a beautiful picture. There's much more to that. It's very frustrating actually that our profession is reduced to superficial trends and materials most of the time, especially for the outside world. And we all know interior design is so much more than that. So I'm glad that you saw the light of beyond interior design, that this is that you're aiming for that always.
Definitely.
It's just a tool. Interior design is just a tool to get to give them what they want.
Yeah, for sure.
So how can we invite biophilic design easily to our lives? Except from you can add more plants in your interior design. That's so obviously about biophilic design. It's connected with plants. That's what it is. But what else can you do to do maybe small touches? But because you don't have to build a jungle.
No, and also, I mean, it's not that you have to do a lot to get the effect. You know, it's even the small things have a huge impact already. So it's not that you need a lot of money to make a biophilic design interior, you know. You can start with very easy things like putting a screensaver on your computer of a forest or of the sea, or whatever you like, you know, what your favorite part of nature is. You could turn your computer to look outside, especially when you have views on nature. That's very easy and it doesn't cost anything.
All right, check so far.
You can bring your pet to your work, if that's allowed.
What? Sorry, say it again.
You can bring your pet to your work.
Oh, your pet, yeah. Okay. Well, I don't have one, but I can maybe. Maybe I have to buy a goldfish.
And those are very small things, you know. You can also when you don't want to have music in the background, you can play something of natural sounds in the background. That's very relaxing. It's really easy and it doesn't cost anything.
I'm a fan of saunas. I have an outdoor sauna because it has to do with fire and with nature. So I really love it. I'm literally looking at it right now in the garden. But sometimes I take this this oil, these fragrances that I'm using in the sauna, I put them in my studio. And then the next morning I'm coming in, I just, my brain goes, that's a relaxed environment. My brain is wiring in this relaxed mode.
Exactly, that's your brain memory.
Yeah, brain memory. Yeah, it works really well, and I love the smell. So that's a good.
Yeah, that's so easy.
Yeah, and well, of course, fresh flowers. I can imagine, or working. My kids are doing that. We walk in the forest or in the park. Hey, you take a branch, kind of memory of your outdoor walk, and you see the stick again, and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do all the time. Yes, I bring everything in the house.
You have a whole collection of natural materials. And, and shells on when you walk on the beach. I can't. I need to put something off the ground.
I used to take sand from different beaches where I was. I put them in little pots, and because of the sand everywhere you go is different and it smells different, it feels different. Bring those home.
Cool. And well, in the back you have all these people staring at me. For the people that are just listening, well, there are all kinds of faces in the background. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, that's my fan club.
Your fan club.
No, when I was getting this studio, I'm sitting here alone, and I wanted to have something with people around me, other people. So I got this really nice book of a photographer called Martin Schuler, and he's a German photographer, and he's got this really way of photographing people in all the same way. It's like they took their masks off and they're like really almost emotionless. And he took pictures of famous people and not famous people and put them together. So, and I put it on the wall, and it's like, it's my fan club. See Obama and Jay Blige and Brad Pitt behind me and John Bon Jovi behind the plants.
Yeah, the eyes are really mesmerizing. So they're really like you take a look into their soul or something. That's really cool about this. Yeah. Great photographer. Yeah.
So it's my fan club. It's my support team.
So let's talk about where you and your fan club are going and Biophilic design is going. How do you see the future of interior design and architecture with Biophilic design?
Yeah, well, it's in America and in the UK, it's already very big. It's very well known, and in Holland not so much. I don't know in the rest, but I don't believe it's a trend like we said. I think it's more like the future of interior design, because I think that everybody should work with this in more or less ways, but there's something for everybody in it, and you can really make a difference. Also because of the sustainable part that's in it. I think we as interior designers have a really big responsibility. We can take our clients on this sustainable path instead of, the next PVC or whatever. But we have to educate them. We have to tell them why this is a better choice than this, and I feel this responsibility very much, and I try to get other interior designers to come on this movement together, because I think if we together we can really make a difference in our industry, and it's so urgent, and it's so. And Biophilic design gives a lot of answers to some of the questions we're dealing with at this moment in this age and time, and this could be an answer to a lot of problems.
Yeah, Ankita Dwivedi was in the podcast a few episodes ago talking about sustainability. Yeah, and she said as well, like, we have so much responsibility as designers, and especially interior designers, because we are changing our interior design over and over again. The building stays quite the same, but the interior, when we have new users, new activities, we're changing it. And then there's the designer. And so she said, like, beware of the importance, the significance of every line you draw on a piece of paper.
exactly.
Was that where it starts? So I really like that you are starting with the plans, because that's a really powerful start then in the direction.
Yeah.
To be really aware and getting conscious about your next choices, because what do you need extra around all this? Yeah, your starting point is really clear then.
In the building world, you know, there are architects have a lot of rules they have to keep following. And for the interior design business, there are no rules. I mean, everything you can do anything you want. But I'm not very much fond of rules, but I think it should be better if it comes from us, from the design world itself, to give other options, you know, to tell about, yeah, you can choose this or you can choose this, and this is so much better, and it's got a CO2 reduction, and you know, and I think we have to educate our client, because that's I speak to a lot of interior designers, and I always talk about this subject, and then they say to me, yeah, but my client doesn't ask for it. And I'm like, yeah, I know your client doesn't ask for it, but you have to tell him. It's your responsibility to tell him, because he doesn't know, he can't know everything. He doesn't ask for it. And I'm like, yeah, I know your client doesn't ask for it, but you have to tell him. It's your responsibility to tell him, because he doesn't know, he can't know everything. But you can, and you can educate them, and that's so important. And I feel this this urge to tell everybody. I mean, you can put latex on your wall, but you also can choose a better paint, you know, that's even breathe, and that's not a plastic you put on your wall. So there are important choices to make, and it's on us.
You said in Holland it's coming. It's more kind of city jungle style interior design concepts and hospitality. You see them with plans or this biophilic workplaces. England and the UK and America, it's going better. Which country is leading at the moment on a bigger scale?
Yeah, that's definitely Singapore. Yeah, Singapore, yes, they really understand biophilic design there, and
it's not the first idea when you mentioned Singapore that I have a really green scenery in my head. It's more like bricks, high buildings, industrial things. But what are they doing? What are they doing at the moment?
Well, first of all, when you want to build something in Singapore, you have to give back to nature what you took from nature.
Oh.
So the amount of building land you have to put back in nature inside the building, or on, you know, on the walls or whatever, but you have to give back the same amount.
And that's a rule.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's very cool. And they used to have like this ambition to plant, I don't know the amount, but plant so much trees in 1 year. And now they spoke out the ambition that they're going to double it again. So they're really busy with. Actually, they are called city in the park, or park city. I'm not sure, but that's really what their ambition is, to make it like a jungle in the city, and not a concrete jungle, but a natural jungle.
I think it's really cool, because maybe it's because of the contrast of this impression and image they have of bricks, high buildings, glass ceilings, and all technical, that these are maybe the cities or countries that can change big time, because they if they have a rule like this, then it's obligatory for everything you are designing in future. And
also, you know, it is a big city, and it is massive, and there is a lot of people and buildings, but to keep a city like that livable for human beings, have to have some nature as well, because it makes you crazy when you have to, you know, when there's no nature and only bricks and you know, that it's just not livable anymore, and they realized that, I think 50 years ago, and they really made policy to make it to make it biophilic, actually.
Yeah, well, wonderful. Should there be a rule in other countries too? We think
Yeah, I
maybe,
think
well,
so.
we are, yeah, not every country is so dense. Then we live in a quite populated country on a small piece of land in Holland with, what is it, 16, 17 million people? Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, we have like this straight line between cities and how do you say it?
Yeah, the country,
Yeah, the
countryside,
countryside.
but well,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think it should be more blended in, you know, it shouldn't be such a straight line. And when we invite more nature into our cities, it gets more smooth and it gets more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have these strong boundaries of I'm inside and outside the city. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
it
and
should be
also,
slowly getting from nature into a kind of city park.
yeah, and also make it fluent in the buildings. You know, when you're outside a building and you have like this entrance with all plants, then repeat the plants inside. You know, then you get a fluent overflow.
Yeah, this overlay. Yeah, this transition zone you
transition
have.
zone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a good thing. Yeah? Indoor-outdoor effect. I think it's a famous interior design trick. Indoor-outdoor effect.
Sure.
People are looking for that. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, great. Yeah, well, let's we've created a special landing page for this for you for Biophilic design. It's instituteofinteriorimpact.com/biophilic. People can find more about you. About I saw already a great video about Singapore, so we will put it on the website over there as well. You have a special gift for the people that are joining us live here, right?
Yeah. I've got this. Yeah, it's like a summary of what we discussed today. It's like what is Biophilic design exactly? What can it do for you? How can you implement it in your life?
Yeah, you've created an international manual for Biophilic design to start. Plugging it into your interior design philosophy to start. Working with it. Yeah, great. Yeah, so if you go to the link. instituteofinteriorimpact.com/biophilic. You can download it there. We will put a link there. In the chat, there is one, I see Sven adding the link, the manual to the PDF.
And for the Dutch listeners, it's also in Dutch on my website. So
yeah. They can go to your website or connect with you on LinkedIn. Your Lianne Bongers, and they know where to find you. Yeah. So well, thanks a lot for your insights. I can feel you're on a mission. I can feel your frustration when we're talking about bricks and concrete. So you're definitely living it. I always love it when people are really passionate about something they truly believe. And I believe what you believe. Actually, I think we have a big responsibility as designers to adapt this, to implement this more into our interior designs. We don't have to call it Biophilic design, but we can use the perspective and the view and the mythology of this to create better environments, healing environments, more meaningful, impactful environments. Yeah. So, what's your last goal, mission, advice you would like to give to us?
Yeah, well, actually, I would like to invite anyone who listens to start learning about Biophilic design and to start, you know, I want it to be a movement. I want to hook up everyone who's listening to start work with this, because it really gives your interior designs more depth, more meaning. And it also is good for the world, you know. It's what we need at this moment.
So even if you don't like plants, there's more to learn about Biophilic design. Yeah,
exactly. You can forget about the plants, but use the materials. That's what.
That's maybe one of the greatest insight. You can have a Biophilic design without plants. You can do definitely. That. Well, thanks a lot, Lianne.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, being my guest. But definitely, it's definitely not. We don't usually talk about trends. So this was a tricky one. It was like, is it a trend? Is it going to disappear in a few months? But I truly believe we are just at the beginning of this.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
it's a religion. It's a movement. Yeah.
For me it is.
Yeah. So yeah, well, thanks a lot.
Thank you.